Are you bad with money? If that's hard to admit, maybe you tend to make lousy financial choices. Well, researchers say our money beliefs are usually established in childhood, but don't blame your parents just yet. Our Alexa Knowles is joining Mainstay financial expert Dan Morris to learn more about your money personality. So Alexa, tell us a little bit about this. This is something we can all use.
Well, good morning, Candace. That's right. I didn't even know what a money personality was until I'm sitting here with Dan and he's talking about it. So let's go ahead and it's an important part of the way that you spend your money. So what is a money personality?
Well, the first thing is you have to identify which one you are. You know, there's the impulse spender. That's someone, you know how when you walk into Walmart and you're going to get to the cash register, you see all the you see all the stuff there. That's why Walmart puts it there. That's for the impulse type person. The second one is for the carefree saver, and that's a good thing, but they're always the ones that want to go to the thrift shops and get the good deals and that type of thing. Then you have the risk taker and the risk avoider, and of course those are kind of, they're self-explanatory. And then you have the carefree person, which is one we talked about. But as we got, sitting here, you got to be real careful because you may be 1, 2, 3, and it may be situational for you. So it's identifying exactly which one you are so you can kind of help yourself with your strengths and weaknesses.
And that way you can recognize maybe a decision before you make it so that you can change that decision for the better.
Correct. Like, give you an example. If you're an impulse type person, give yourself 48 hours before you go buy that brand new car to make sure it's the right interest rate, it's where you really want it. It's not just because you look really good in it, that type of thing, because that could be a $30,000 mistake, and then once it's off the lot, that's your decision.
And as we were talking about, I think I am a combination of a couple of those, depending on where I am and which store I'm in, honestly.
Well, and age plays a big part, too. As you get older, you have children, things like that, all of a sudden these personalities starting to change. You're not as much a risk taker, I'm telling you, as you get older and you have children than when you're younger. So. And
speaking of that, Dan's going to join us back in the next 30 minutes. He's going to talk about how your money personality can affect your relationship with your spouse. That's coming up.
So how do you deal with money? Maybe you're an impulse buyer, maybe you're a savvy saver. Researchers say depending on how you use your money personality could be to blame. Our Alexa Knowles is joining us live this morning with financial expert Dan Morris with Mainstay Financial to learn some ways about our money personality. And Alexa, we're talking this time about marriages and relationships and how that affects our spending.
Well, that's right, Candace. Dan taught us about 30 minutes ago about those money personalities, and then they're saying how spending money is so emotional, and that can really cause a wedge between you and your spouse. So let's run through the money personalities again real quick and then talk about how it can affect your relationships.
Well, the money personalities are, of course, the impulse spender, and then you have the one that's just one that goes out and does anything. You have the carefree saver. That's the one that charities love because they're going to save, but they're going to give to charities, and also they're going to go to thrift stores. You have the risk avoider, which is an obvious, they're avoiding risk, a risk taker, and then you have the carefree person who could care less about a budget. So when it drills down, we have clients come in at Mainstay Financial, and we have to kind of look at that, because if you think about it in your retirement, let's just take two of them, the risk avoider and the risk taker. Well, if you got one that's a really risk taker, there's no more money coming in, so you can't be real risky because you only got so much money. But then again, if you're a risk avoider, there's no more money coming in, so as inflation rises, you're going to have to meet a little bit of risk in order to get that done. So both couples are actually going to have the couples are going to have to meet in the middle.
And that's why it's so important to understand what your money personality is, because that might be an issue in your marriage, or it sounds pretty simple, but then again, it could be the problem. A quiz is going up on y'all's website on Monday. We were just talking about that.
It is.
So if people don't know, or if maybe they're a combination of the two, they can take that and figure it out.
It will help you in a big way, because you will actually be able to be honest with yourself. The word I love to use, you better be transparent. And I can tell you, before you're getting married, maybe you want to take this test too, just to kind of give you a hint. Don't wait 3 years down the road and then say, oh, I didn't know I was this way.
Well, Dan, I am in that boat, so I'll talk to my fiance about that before we get into any hot water. Dan Morris, thank you so much for being with us this morning.